She's dead. Wrapped in plastic.
Welcome to the Twin Peaks Podcast.
Damn good coffee. And hot. Would everyone please take a seat?
Welcome to the Twin Peaks Podcast. I'm Matt.
I'm Mel.
Who are you this week, Brad?
I'm a little teapot.
And I'm Caitlin, short and stout.
And we're joined by my friend Graeme.
Yay!
Yay, Graeme.
Hi there.
Hey! Yay!
Graeme, you've been on before.
I've done 2 tours.
2 tours.
The Twin Peaks podcast.
Was one of them an actual episode of Twin Peaks, or was it always a movie?
No, never. I've done 2 movies.
Okay,
I've done a good one and I've done a polarizing one.
Okay. So then, how about you tell us about your Twin Peaks history then?
Well, I was thinking about it the other day, actually. My Twin Peaks history begins, I think, in the 90s. Because I remember my parents watching the show for a very brief amount of time in between, like, Home Improvement.
Before it got weird?
Home Improvement.
Yeah,
really?
I don't see my mom and dad going in for that. They're more of a Cheers kind of crew. But I remember seeing like it on Sesame Street, like they had the Twin Beaks. So I knew what it was, and I used to get it mixed up with that show Northern Exposure.
Yeah.
Another very good show. Another nice slice of life.
Which I've never seen. But
Yeah. And I had a friend who was a big film buff, and he had the first season on DVD, and we just sit in our apartment, and there was one day he's like, let's watch this show, and we watched, I think, the first 2 episodes of the first season, and then I left it alone for a little while, and then I had a weird reintroduction to it. I was living with another roommate while I was still in school, and we watched Firewalk with me.
Oh no.
Because he found it at the video store. So I went from watching the first episode to watching Firewalk with me, and I don't think I remembered anything from those original episodes because I was so confused by what I saw, and I completely had the mystery completely spoiled for me.
Yeah.
Immediately. Yeah. But then I started going back, and I thought it was terrible at first, but it's one of those things you think is bad.
The movie?
You go back and little parts stick with you, so like the Black Lodge scene stuck with me, and I remember YouTubing them, and then I heard about the ending. So again, I was still like not at the beginning, I was at the tail end of it. So I remember hearing about the beginning, and I love downer endings. I love it when it ends on a bad note, or an ominous note, and I had to watch the whole thing from there, so that's how I kind of found my way to the beginning, through completely the back door. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
So what do you feel about this new season? Pro or against?
I'm picking a middle of the road perspective because I'm watching it. I mean, my time is very. I've got two kids under 4 right now, so my time is very compartmentalized. So it's not something that's easy. If it gets wasted, I get really pissed off.
Yeah.
So there's been times my wife and I have been watching it. She feels the exact same way. She's not as into it as I am, but she's watched it, and there's definitely been nights where she's been like, what the fuck was that? It's like, we just spent an hour watching that.
Yeah.
And there's been other nights where we'll be like, wow, something happened.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
It's happening more often now, finally.
Exactly. See, I don't have crazy expectations. I didn't have expectations because I've seen revivals of shows totally be terrible. Yeah, just be awful. So I was kind of hoping, it'd be nice to just see some familiar characters, some locales and themes, maybe get some idea, some kind of continuation of the story, but I don't need really a resolution. Like I was happy with the cliffhanger. I was always happy with the story in my head, and happy to live in that. So there's been moments where I've definitely been like, that kind of felt like a bit of a waste of time.
Yeah.
But I found something in just about every episode that I've really enjoyed. So it's been,
worth it overall.
Straight down the middle.
Okay. Worth it overall.
I mean, it's another season of Twin Peaks. I mean,
Yeah.
it's something that wasn't around or didn't seem possible years ago. So I'd see it as kind of a gift.
All right. Well,
and I've got a lot of crappy gifts over the years. So you don't always like what you get.
Yeah, it's true. All right. Well, episode 15 started with some of that. What you were talking about, the showing old characters and old storylines. It opens with Nadine going to Big Ed's with her shovel in hand and
I love that.
freeing him. What'd you guys think of this?
I love seeing Nadine with a shovel. I'm so conflicted about this beginning stuff with Nadine and Ed and Norma.
Yeah.
Like this whole bit, because I don't know. I feel like, it's the resolution to the whole Ed and Norma thing, sure. But this series, I don't know. It's so lifeless that there's been no arc to this plot. So you have to completely rely on everything you already know going into Twin Peaks. Because we didn't even know if Nadine and Ed were still together until this point.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I like it. I guess it's nice. I guess it's a nice resolution, but I don't know. It's just another bit of, like, this feels like the cliche nostalgia things people will say that this series isn't.
Yeah.
Because it's just checking the box, but, like, I haven't, like, aside from, like, 2 minutes, we spend more time developing Candy's story than we have what's going on with Ed.
Oh yeah.
So,
what happened to Candy? I forgot about Candy.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like it's if you're able to just pull in all of your nostalgia for old Twin Peaks and Ed and Norma, it works, but it requires all of that.
Wait, was Candy one of
one of those 3 girls in Las Vegas?
So, Brad, are you saying you want more, like, Bellucci stuff? Is that what you're saying?
Never. But I feel like that's what they've been giving us. So
yeah. I feel like it, like, the thing about, like, Ed and Nadine and not having spent enough time with them, I almost feel like it's true, we didn't know if they were still together, like, and I couldn't even tell if they were actually still living together, because Ed seemed so surprised to see Nadine.
Yeah.
I was like, well, are they separated? Like, what's going on here? I don't know. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like they must have been, but
I thought it was... Go ahead.
Maybe from those shots with him eating, like, late night at the gas station, we're supposed to think that he practically lives there now. I don't know, but yeah, it's really
She never comes
ambiguous.
over.
well, that's what it seemed to me, like, that they just were kind of estranged.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm also of two minds about this, where I love that it's happening, I love how it was acted, I love the music they used, but...
Yeah, the Otis Redding?
Yeah, the Otis Redding.
Yeah, that was really...
But
yeah.
great.
it's like, it feels not true to the story. Like, it feels like they just waited 25 years to get together so we could see it. Like,
I know!
Like, it's not realistic in any way.
It's
like,
true.
they've been pining over each other for 45 years at this point, since
It's
high
like,
school.
oh, wait, people are watching us. Let's do this now.
we gotta wait 25 years, then we can get together.
Yeah.
But I'm glad we saw it. I like how it was done. It just didn't feel real.
The performances are great. Like, it's nice seeing them together. The music is great. I love that the song is going through the whole scene, and it's perfect. But it's just, it feels like fan service that people keep telling us that this series doesn't have.
Yeah. Well, finally got some. And I like I said, I liked it, but I also didn't like it.
I think when you see people being shipped, as the kids say, then it's definitely fan service at that point.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's any couples in Twin Peaks that are shipped besides Cooper and Audrey. Really.
I don't know. I think so. I think there's different couples that, you know, you're like, you have like your, like, Shelley and
Nadine
Bobby.
and Mike.
Nadine and Mike,
right?
Shelley
Yeah,
and
I
Bobby,
forgot.
like, they were awesome together, like, you know, I don't know.
I think old Mikey's being pushed aside for Dr. Amp there.
Oh, it's a harsh world.
It was so lame when Ed was like, oh, Nadine's finally giving me my freedom. Norma, let's get together now. It's like, oh, you sound so whipped.
Yeah, honestly, like it seems like Ed hasn't changed all these years, but Norma must have changed a lot. She's running a franchise and such, and she's moved on with her life, made a lot of decisions, but Ed's still just at the gas station just waiting.
Yeah.
She also apparently told her business partner that she doesn't have any family, so does that mean the retcon of Annie from the book is still true? They did mention Annie in one episode, but...
Who
but
knows?
She's been gone, or I don't know, maybe she died.
Maybe.
They haven't talked about it.
She died with her mother.
I was telling Matt and Mel, I watched Firewalk with Me.
Right before this?
Yeah, the other night. I watched it in 2 parts. and I needed a break in between. But
yes.
Yeah, I never really, and I watched The Missing Pieces, because I think I've watched them with you before, Matt.
Yeah.
But I've never seen them, I guess, in that kind of sequence before, with Annie being in the emergency room, being wheeled in from Glastonbury Grove, is that what it's called?
Yep.
Yeah, and coming into the hospital, but those injuries look pretty traumatic. Like, I can totally see her having died as a result from this.
Yeah, could be.
Maybe she turned into a frying pan. Well, we turned into a teapot.
Okay.
No.
Yeah, we get into that already?
Skipping ahead. So, then we cut to, and they're gonna get married.
Well, do you
can
guys
I
have
just
anything
say-
else to say about this? Yeah, Graeme, go ahead.
The image of Nadine walking down the road with that golden shovel.
Yes.
Loved it. Absolutely loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Did you guys have anything else to say about that scene?
Nope. Then we cut to driving at night, which we've seen before, and it usually goes on too long when it happens.
Yes.
have you ever driven at night before that?
Yeah, but I
It
wasn't.
goes on forever.
I wasn't part of a TV show, you see.
That's what you think.
Oh shit, Truman Show.
Never will be with that attitude.
So then Mr. C just drives up to the convenience store, the one that we saw.
Rolls on in.
Yeah. And there is a room above the convenience store. Like, I was wondering, it looked like a one-story convenience store last time we saw it, and I was like, where's the room above it? And
Looked like a roof entrance, yeah.
Yeah, you just have to walk up those stairs to nowhere, and then you're above the convenience store. Yeah, what do you guys think of this whole thing, all the way up to the Bowie thing?
It's super creepy.
Yeah. I enjoyed that they reused the wallpaper, and it is the room from Firewalk with Me from Laura's Dream, and you got the stairs from the vortex that Gordon Cole almost got sucked into.
I like how you come into one room and then you open a door and you go into another room and she just keeps being transported. I kind of like that. It's kind of like going through a maze. Yeah.
I also like the imagery of when they're walking down the hall, they cross-cut it with going through the trees. So that was neat. Just to tie it into the whole, spooky woods. That's, that was the core of the series at one point.
Did we see the dancing guy with the long nose, too?
Yeah, the jumping
it's
man.
like-
Superimposed?
yeah.
When they flip that switch, you see the jumping man with his mask, but he flickers with Sarah Palmer's face.
Oh, I
People
didn't
have noticed
notice
that. Yeah, people have freeze-framed it. It goes like jumping man, Sarah Palmer, jumping man.
Weird.
So maybe that's who's possessed her. I don't know.
Interesting.
And eventually it comes out into the parking lot of the Mount Si Motel, which is where Leland met up with Ronette and Laura and Teresa Banks in Fire Walk with Me, but I doubt it's actually supposed to be that same motel, but the location is the same. Oh, getting some static from Caitlin.
Ugh.
She's in the convenience store.
No. So yeah, what do you guys think of what happened to Jeffries?
It's a human juice box?
Something like that. I didn't like it.
Is he living in the teapot? Is he the teapot? Is he the steam?
I thought it was kind of like a Darth Vader suit, where it's keeping him alive. I don't know. Like, what else could it be, really?
Like an iron lung.
Yeah, yeah.
I think it's interesting. I mean, obviously we can't have David Bowie in the series, but I'm just glad we're at least doing something.
Yes.
Like this is kooky, but I'm fine with it. Like it's the voice. The voice is I wish we would have gotten something closer to the voice, but
Yeah.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
Too bad they didn't pull that Rogue One thing where they make like a CGI Bowie.
Yeah.
Stick
my
him in way
God.
too much of the series.
They
That would
should
have been
have.
amazing.
Oh, that would be so bizarre.
Yeah, the voice, it's kind of weird because in the previous episode, whoever's doing Bowie's voice this time also did the redub of the original scenes in the previous episode, and that sounded fine to me.
But that's because you could see Bowie. This time you
Yeah.
I think it's because of the modulation, like the Dalek modulation or whatever they put on him in this.
I don't know. I thought it was pretty weird in the last one too. When I went back and looked at it,
Yeah.
like I mean, Bowie was doing a weird voice to begin with,
Yeah.
so
It's not a
mean-
voice that exists in real life, so it's kind of hard to
Yeah.
copy it.
yeah.
Yeah,
But
not a real accent.
what I think's interesting is like there's all this like it doesn't seem like I don't know if it's like a time thing or if there is like a doppelganger or another character, because we have that whole thing about did you try to contact me? Because we got that message that was supposedly from Jeffries, but possibly not.
Yeah.
And so this Teapot Jeffries does not seem to be the same person that contacted him.
Yeah,
It's confusing because he almost seems to be giving Cooper non-answers when he asks him questions.
yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Imagine that in this series.
So is there an evil or good teapot out there, Jeffries? That's
Doppel teapot.
so many teapots.
What were you gonna say, Caitlin?
Oh, yeah. It's all very confusing as to, like, what exactly Jeffries knows and doesn't know. But, like, how on earth would he end up guarded by, like, the woodsman? What did he do? How did he get involved with that?
You know what it felt like to me, though, when Cooper was asking questions and Jeffries was answering them? It's almost like he was giving him the politician's answer. Like, oh, is it like this? Like, I don't know. Like,
He asked about Judy, and apparently he's already met Judy.
yeah, you've already met Judy. I don't know.
And does he know that this is an evil Coop doppelganger?
Yeah, because he's like, oh, you are Cooper. Yeah.
Yeah.
The allegiances in this show are so
Yeah, they're...
out to lunch. I can't make sense.
And I'm not confident that we'll find out who's on whose side by the end.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like the only thing that's actually a plot with intrigue going on is this whole Jeffries and Briggs and what's going on.
Yeah, some people are like, Judy is Briggs, because Judy Garland Briggs.
If that's it, that's gonna be really stupid.
my favorite.
God.
But yeah, I don't like the teapot. I would have preferred, like, just have him in shadow or something. Just have
Yeah,
somebody who has
that's
his
what I would've
outline
liked. Yeah.
and make him a silhouette, and then have this guy voice the silhouette.
I like the teapot.
But then he would have been vulnerable, I feel. I feel like the teapot made him...
He's an invincible teapot.
Yeah, basically, because Doppelkoop could have been able to attack him, shoot him or whatever if he was a shadow, but now he's an iron teapot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What if he's not a teapot? What if he's just that's like a lodge like telephone?
Oh, maybe.
That's just like the intercom.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Well,
Maybe it's like a
interesting.
hearing aid apparatus with steam coming out. I don't know.
Well, he sends some numbers out for Cooper, and people have apparently done the investigation and found that it's the same numbers that were on the arm of that corpse, that lady's corpse.
It's a primitive texting service.
So it's probably going to lead him back to Twin Peaks,
The
obviously.
4T9.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
My
kind of
theory-
curious to me, like, what sort of, I don't know, relationship Coop has with, like, these woodsmen and, like, those little creatures who saved him, whatever they were when he was shot. And yet here he has, like, no power whatsoever in his situation. He had to be led, like, through layers to get to Jeffries, yet he still, like, has no control of actually being there and is just kicked out.
Yeah. I like how he's kicked out. It's basically he was sucked out of the Matrix, like with the telephone thing. Pick up the phone, you're in the real world.
Do you think Jeffrey's atoms have been scrambled from so many years of teleporting?
It scrambled into teapot formation.
I don't know. Because when I was watching Firewalk with me and I watched the missing pieces and all those teleportations seemed extremely painful.
Yeah.
There was a lot of heat and electricity.
Well, maybe
bleeding many times.
He should have just like turned into a woodsman. Like just dress up one of these woodsmen, kind of like David Bowie, and say it's Jeffries. Anything but a teapot. Anyways, Brad, we cut you off. What were you gonna say?
I know. What was I gonna say? I don't remember.
Oh shit. Sorry.
No, it's on me.
How's that Bordeaux, Matt?
It's very good. Oh yes, Graeme brought us French Bordeaux. A fine French Bordeaux.
Mais oui. That crazy French lady.
We gotta get our France funding. So
yes, that's right.
Well, this is a step in the right direction.
Yeah. So he gets sent out of the convenience store, and Richard Horne's there waiting for him. Which I was interested in how they're going to interact, and it went about as how I expected it would.
Daddy, why? Why, Daddy?
Yeah, I'm really curious to see what Evil Coop is going to do with him.
You know, I was thinking about this, and I think it's because we're only really invested in Richard Horne in the fact that he's probably Evil Cooper's gross son.
Yeah.
And his connection to Audrey, and he's like a monster. But like, what if instead of Richard Horne showed up, it was Wally Brando?
I want to see Wally Brando again too.
Amazing.
I would just love him to come back and just be in the middle of something terrible.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. How long do you think Dark Coop could tolerate one of his monologues?
For like 2 words.
Not very long, yeah.
I think it would be fun.
Yes, but Wally Brando should be invincible, really.
Yeah?
I think so.
That'd be great.
That would make it better. He's the one that's gonna save us all.
I'm hoping Dark Coop plays Cats in the Cradle for him on that car ride back to Twin Peaks.
That'd be funny. That's his way of telling him, "No, Richard, I want you to listen to this song."
Thinly veiled song about an absent father.
Yeah. Some people are, in the very first episode, the giant said to remember, the firemen were said to remember Richard and Linda. We have not seen Linda yet, but Richard seems to be Coop's son, or Evil Coop's son. Is Linda Evil Coop's daughter with Annie?
What?
That's some people's theory that.
Oh my god.
Yeah, he has 2 kids, one with Audrey, one with Annie. They were both in the hospital that night, and he got around. That's just extra gross.
Oh man.
Yeah. I don't want to think about that.
I hope it's not that. But I mean, we hoped that he didn't do anything to Audrey, and that doesn't seem like we're gonna get our wish there. So yeah, he takes Richard Horne, and they go off together. Oh, Richard knew who he was because his mom, Audrey, had a picture of Coop. So she kept a picture of Coop around for quite a long time, I guess.
She probably didn't know.
Didn't know what?
That he was the father.
Oh, yeah, probably not.
Yeah.
Hopefully not.
Yeah. She assumes it's John Justice Wheeler, I imagine.
For those of you hoping for a Billy Zane cameo.
So then we cut to the woods.
Wait, the convenience store when it was flickering and like smoking and I was just hoping that it would burst into flames and explode.
A tiny nuke?
Yes.
It took forever.
Yeah, it did take a while.
I got really scared when I watched this the first time because we had the Ed and Norma scene, and it was like, oh well, there's the fan service scene, and then we go to the road, and I was like, oh god, what if we go back to episode 8 and this this convenience store just goes on and flickering forever.
Yeah.
I was very scared.
It didn't.
What about that creepy lady that Dark Coop meets?
Talks backwards?
Did you watch the credits all the way?
No.
I did at the end. She's standing in the background, just staring at the screen the whole time.
What?
Yeah.
What? What, in the Roadhouse?
No, not in the Roadhouse, but they go
back
to the Roadhouse. They cut to the motel, and she's in the background,
Ooh.
staring. Yeah.
Where? That's
Interesting.
creepy.
Super creepy.
I don't see her. Where is she? I'm gonna find her.
Brad's usually...
She was only on Graham's TV.
It's like Where's Waldo, the Black Lab edition.
I know it's gonna be creepy as hell when I see her like standing in the shadow somewhere.
She's looking right at you, Brad.
Yeah.
Oh god, that creeps me the fuck out.
So we go to the woods, and it's very pretty, and the trees are huge, and I'm always glad to see some woods, and we meet a hiker who's walking his dog, who happens to be Mark Frost.
And Dog Frost.
Dog Frost.
Wonder how he got that cameo.
Yeah.
Oh, he let the director mangle his script. That's all.
That's his payment. A small walk-on cameo.
Yeah.
Dressed up like a bum.
I say mangle. There's no telling. It might have started off not great.
Maybe. Well, yeah, he did write that book that we don't like.
Yeah.
So yeah, he actually is playing Cyril Pons, which is the same character.
Oh, he is?
Yeah.
Oh.
Who we last saw was a news anchor.
Oh, just update on the end credits.
Mm-hmm.
So there's it starts with one scene where you're seeing like the motel, but then it cuts to another scene where she's just standing there in the background,
Huh.
which
I didn't
is
even notice.
creepy as hell.
I guess I wasn't watching.
Yeah. Ugh.
Yeah, we'll have to check that out after.
She's like a spooky ghost.
Stephen and Gersten Hayward are in the woods. Stephen Burnett.
Ugh.
And he's freaking out, and I couldn't understand a word he said until I turned on the subtitles.
Yeah.
He's basically talking about killing himself.
Yeah, he's real quiet.
Over something.
Yeah, super quiet.
Yeah.
He's a high school graduate, okay?
Yeah, it's super important.
It was almost like, yeah, I'm a high school graduate. I achieved that. I can go now.
Oh,
I have done my work.
Yeah.
He's so gross.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know what she sees in him, to be frank, and I don't know why she's like so hesitant to grab the gun from him, and it's not even loaded.
Guns are dangerous.
But yeah, but it's not loaded. And she was like, "Oh, I don't know. Like, can I? Like, just take it."
They're both high as fuck.
I don't know.
yeah.
She should have just taken the gun.
Yeah, and they're talking about something he may have done, but she says she did it, not her, some other she. So we don't know what they're talking about there. Assuming that Gersten is saying that Becky did it, whatever it is.
Maybe there was a cat in the apartment which she was firing gunshots into. Her poor cat.
Aww.
I'm the reason Snowball's dead.
When Steven said, "Am I going to meet the rhinoceros? Will I see the rhinoceros?"
Will I be turquoise?
They had a turquoise rhinoceros in the apartment.
That's what got killed.
Oh no.
Becky plugged the turquoise rhinoceros.
Not the tchotchkes.
Those things are rare.
And Steven wants to go join it in heaven.
It was a Hayward family heirloom.
Oh.
I mean, yeah, he's gross, but I do enjoy this actor's portrayal of this gross
Oh, yeah.
character. He's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wish he didn't mumble so much, but he's really going for
He really looks like a Culkin to me.
a Culkin.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
His method.
Yeah.
I didn't like how he was like, I loved you, I loved you, I loved your cunt. That's all you are to me,
Ugh.
a cunt. I was like, oh, like, please leave
You're
this
making
guy.
me cry, cunt. Oh.
Like, I just
like-
wish she would leave him.
Yeah,
She
like
deserves better.
why is he trying to be grosser than Richard?
I don't know who would win in a gross out contest between the two.
Ugh.
Yeah, like they're both really gross.
Well, Steven's got the snot bubbles and everything. Shitty mustache.
Yeah.
And I think
It would just be the two of them just like drinking room temperature buttermilk. Like being gross.
I was disappointed in Gersten, I gotta say.
Yeah.
When I thought of who she was, I was like, no.
I know.
No, you go back to school, young
Yeah,
lady.
she was such a
know.
junior achiever with that piano recital.
I know.
Like fairy costume.
Yeah, yeah, I forgot about
That's
that.
what happened when you're locked in the attic.
Yeah,
You know,
that's true.
don't achieve much.
That's why she's got that giant key now to get out of attics.
Right. Yeah.
She's undergone some trauma.
So then, yeah, they're interrupted by Cyril Pons, and then, bang, we assume that Stephen is dead. And, Cyril goes to tell Carl about what he saw and points out the trailer of the person who probably shot themselves. Then we go...
Carl's got a shovel. Is it a gold shovel?
No, I don't think it was. It should have been if it wasn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't tell. It's a long shot, so I can't.
2 coats guaranteed. Then we go to the
It's
Roadhouse.
my favorite scene. This is my favorite.
This is your favorite scene?
It's my favorite scene.
We go to the Roadhouse to introduce ZZ Top in absentia.
So hoping ZZ Top would show up. Like, this show needs Billy Gibbons so bad.
Oh, that would be excellent.
It was just hilarious. Like, do they do this for every song they play when there's no band on?
Terrible DJ. Fire that DJ.
Yeah.
I love it. I love his grandpa dance when you put the song on. It's so great. And yeah, I guess that's why he's hired there, because to dance.
Yeah.
Aww, and to introduce songs.
I love the crowd at the Roadhouse. They're up for anything. They're like, ZZ
They really
Top,
are.
yeah, 9 Inch Nails, awesome. James, whatever his last name is, yay. Hurley, yeah.
Mozart, woohoo!
Rock out to Mozart.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
But Dummy James, who's always been cool, comes up to Renee, a girl that he knows casually, maybe, and he starts trying to talk over her husband, physically over her husband at her, I guess. And then when confronted and questioned about this, he starts stuttering, and it's probably because of the brain damage, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, he's Dum Dum James. Now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Dum
Dum James.
original.
Yeah. And then, they kick his ass. And this guy is Chuck, which we've heard Audrey and Charlie talking about. But, yeah, we don't know anything else about
That's
him.
probably irrelevant in the grand scheme of things.
Probably going to be
Likely.
relevant, yeah. What'd you guys think of this? And, Freddy came to the rescue.
Freddy is a monster. Like, he knows he has a super hand.
Yeah.
Like, he can't open a fucking peanut with his hand. Like, he willfully, smashes somebody's face in, and then he does it again.
Yeah. Yeah, he said I tried not to hit them that hard, but yeah.
Use the other fist. Use the other fist.
But he knows that he can't, Like
you
the
don't-
peanut thing, he knows he can't do that.
You don't hit
Maybe
anyone
he-
in the
yeah.
face.
Yeah, yeah.
Hitting anyone in the face is, crazy.
At least don't go for the face, yeah. That's where their brain is, close to that.
Yeah.
Punch
he
them
had
in
to
the
let-
knee.
Yeah. He had to let James get beat up for a while first in order to justify punching them in the face, I guess, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he was, just debating, should I use my pile driver fist on them or
Moral
not?
dilemma.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you just use one finger and flick them out of the way?
Yeah.
It's true. Yeah.
He's a murderer. He needs to be stopped.
It's all part of his destiny, Brad.
Okay.
Cops are gonna buy that one.
Yeah. Wait, don't lock me up. It was my destiny.
Like, they are Twin Peaks cops, so yeah, they probably will buy that.
Yeah.
He is One Punch Man, though.
Mm-hmm. And then we go to the Las Vegas FBI department with this delightful guy again.
Oh, I love that guy.
Yeah.
That freak out in the last episode, I was rolling on the ground laughing. How over the top it was.
It was so strange, but yeah.
How boring is the Las Vegas Bureau? That this is what gets him excited.
Yeah.
He's so cartoonish, though. It's so weird.
I kind of like it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Wilson got the wrong Dougie Jones and Jane. They have screaming kids.
So
I'd like to think at this point they'd already gone through 10 Dougie Joneses. And
Yeah, he just keeps failing every time.
So how much information do they have about Dougie Jones to know that there would be kids singular, or no kids at all?
I guess enough to know that he's only got one. Which why did Wilson even bring those ones in then?
Yeah.
Because the director seemed to know that should only have one.
I think there's more to this. This Wilson guy sounds like an idiot. I think that's why he's getting screamed at. This guy's at the end of his rope.
He
Yeah.
needs
This
to
Wilson character.
He needs to restructure his department.
Oh, just to go back to something for a second. Back to Cooper. We see him send the text about Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Question mark.
So is that the one we saw already, or is he just sending the same text again?
That's the question about this series. Is it out of order, or is it supposed to be a follow-up?
Or is it just poorly edited?
I,
Then we go to Chantel, and she
Gross.
she
She's so gross.
Well, she comes in and she executes Mr. Todd and his poor innocent assistant.
Shoots the CGI straight out of him.
Exactly.
She shoots him with the CGI paintball right in the face.
I was pretty impressed how well she blended into that office.
Yeah, I didn't
know.
recognize her at
Yeah.
first.
Yeah, I know, she fits right in.
Yeah, I only realized it was her when she was like talking on the phone about food or whatever.
About her
Yep.
fries.
Wendy's, no doubt.
Yeah. And that horrible wheeze from, I'm assuming, the assistant, Roger.
I thought it was Mountie Roger when I first saw him.
Roger King, King
Yes!
of the Mounties.
King of the Mounties, yeah, I thought it was him.
He'd be much older.
I know, but he
He's
had the
his
same
son.
hair and the same just profile.
Roger Jr.
Yeah. Aw.
Deep cut.
Yep. Then we go to the Twin Peaks jail, and James and Freddy are arrested, and they're put in with the drunk, quote unquote drunk, Nido and Chad, and they're all still doing the same thing they were doing last episode.
I'm glad
Wait to see
Nido
this.
has those pajamas.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't remember in the last episode. I remember how alarming it was when they found her in the woods.
Yeah.
I thought, oh man, I hope they get this poor girl some clothes. But see her in like fuzzy pink pajamas, I was like, okay, I think she's a little safer than she was.
She needs bunny slippers too, I think.
Little house coat.
I was gonna say Black Lodge beings may not care about clothes, but they're always clothed when we see them, so they probably have some humility or whatever.
And they certainly don't want, like, Chad, like, staring them down like
True.
a creep.
Yes,
Gross.
that's true.
Looking at her like a Swanson hungry man.
Yeah.
No.
Oh man.
Jack cares about.
So, obviously the only reason Freddy's in here is because somebody's gonna come and try to kill Nido, and he's gonna bust out of the jail cell and defeat them. And that's his, that's his real
yeah.
destiny. That's what I'm guessing.
I completely forgot about that. Yeah.
But will it be Evil Coop that comes for her? I don't know who else it would be. Just a random woodsman, I guess, maybe.
Maybe.
Could be a teapot. An evil teapot.
Yep. I'm here to scald you.
Or
Chantal.
the assassins. The assassins might come too. Yeah.
That's true. So far, we only know they've got one more job to do in Las Vegas, but yeah, who knows after that. Chantal and Hutch, speaking of the assassins, they're eating fast food, making all the mouth sounds.
Oh.
Uh,
I hated that we got 2 scenes in a row with people smacking their food in a disgusting way.
just moving it around in their mouth.
Just eating like cows. Learn how to eat properly, you dicks.
Or just, how about the creators don't mic them so that you can hear that?
But you know who did the sound design for this,
or
right?
or do the Foley and insert those sounds.
Do you know who did the sound design for this?
Yeah, I know. It's
David Lynch.
Yeah, I know.
It's those mouth sounds.
He likes mouth sounds.
I feel like in this series I'm more invested in their relationship than Ed and Norma.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh yeah, they're great.
Yeah.
Well, they do have a good relationship because I mean, obviously they love each other in an odd kind of way, but
Yeah.
no,
Very much enjoy each other's company.
they do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're
Doesn't
good
seem
communicators.
Like that road trip is
Yeah.
very grueling.
No, they could drive around the country and always be content as long as they had their fast food and people to torture
And dessert.
and dessert.
That's all you could want in life.
Yeah, that's a little bit Tarantino. These two.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're saying that because it's Tim Roth.
No, it's just because they're talking about nothing
Yeah,
and
basically. Yeah.
eating food and just being quirky.
Sam Jackson and John Travolta of this show.
Yeah.
I got you a Royale with cheese. Then we go to Dougie Jones.
Again, eating dry cake
Yep.
like it's the best thing in the world.
It really upsets me watching him eat cake.
Why is that?
I just the whole scooping process. It's just. I don't need to see it. I hope I never have to watch Kyle MacLachlan slowly scoop cake again.
But he's gotten better at it.
Yeah.
He's leveling up his skills,
A little
his
faster.
cake eating
Yeah.
skills.
How do you feel about his coffee sipping?
Oh, it's pretty bad too.
Mm.
It's just very slurpy.
Yeah.
I feel like it could
It's just-
be worse.
The process with the scooping process is just so. I don't know. It's so laborious.
Well, yeah. What about Dougie Jones isn't laborious?
I
Yeah.
I don't know why the cake bothers. I think that's the one thing of all the Dougie Jones things that bothers me the most.
Well, I can't blame you.
He's got he has to try about 3 or 4 times to get that TV on, even though he probably wasn't intentionally doing that, but that's the end result.
Yeah.
And then we get Sunset Boulevard on the TV, which I've never seen.
Before we move on to that, what was up with that remote? Because I distinctly heard the buttons clicking whenever
He's
he
just
touched
hitting the
them.
wrong button.
No, like they actually made an audible clicking sound, like something from the 70s. Like an old remote, like click, click,
Oh my
click,
god.
like an analog button.
Yeah. I don't know.
Maybe they did have like an old analog like TV, like with this dial, you know.
Considering everything else in their house, I could definitely see that.
It's an heirloom remote. It's kind of
Yes.
like that turquoise rhinoceros. Yeah, and then we get Dougie Jones, or not, sorry, Gordon Cole, uttered on the TV on Sunset Boulevard, which is where that name came from originally.
So good.
And have you ever seen that movie? Is it any good?
Oh, it's great. It's really great.
What's it about?
So it's basically an older, like, former silent film star. It's like a noir, and she's past her prime, but like her butler is like trying to make her believe she's gonna have a comeback, and then this young writer gets involved, and it's great. It's great. And then Stark and people die. Yeah.
I've always wanted to see it. So.
Yeah.
You definitely do it. It's one of the handful of like 50s movies that like really completely hold up.
Nice. That's awesome.
Like most older movies, I mean I love older movies, but the pacing is usually so different that even if they're great, it's still like a bit of a struggle sometimes, just with modern sensibilities. But Sunset Boulevard, Casablanca, and like Double Indemnity, like those, I feel like those are the 3 movies that are 100% timeless.
Nice.
Sweet.
That's awesome.
We will have to check Netflix, though I'm not hopeful that it's there. Yeah, and then he gets like triggered in some way by the mention of Gordon Cole. He almost snaps at it. He almost looks like the old Coop for a second, and then he gets down on the floor and shoves the fork in the outlet.
It's time. It's time to regain my actual Cooperness.
He's like, oh yeah, I left my shoes in there. He's trying to dig them out.
So do you guys think Cooper's coming back now?
Yes!
Yeah. I
Yes.
do. Yeah.
Yes.
He was one line short of a Voltron.
Yeah, he just needs... I'll form the shoes!
Can I tell you my really upsetting thought I had about this?
What?
Yes.
Okay, what if Cooper does come back, but of course they have to rush him to the hospital because, he's just been electrocuted.
Yeah.
But then they think he's crazy because he's not saying he's Dougie Jones. And he just ends up getting like he gets institutionalized or something.
God damn
like
it.
Because everybody's like, you're not Dale Cooper. We don't know who that is. Your name's Dougie Jones.
Yeah.
And then they give him like electroshock therapy or something. And
Even better. He sticks
And we're
his
back to
fork in
Dougie
the outlet and
Jones.
Dies.
Yeah,
That'd be
he
awful.
actually
Dies.
Yeah.
It just dies. That's
Like,
it.
I'm just like, all this talk about David Lynch trolling us and all that, whatever. But, like, I just feel like, I mean, it would make sense for Cooper to come back, but also I wouldn't be surprised if it just goes horrifically wrong.
Oh my god, that would be the worst if, like, the next episode just opens on Cooper's, like, blank stare of a face and the sheet goes up over him.
They zip the body down.
They zip the body bag up. Oh my god.
Oh, but what do we have Ghost Cooper?
That would be better, though, I
Yes.
think.
He's already been a ghost. Floating around that box.
Yeah.
I
That's
like
true.
looking
Which
at things from Janie's perspective.
Yeah.
When he sticks the fork in the socket. I just kept thinking, the way he eats like a toddler and everything.
Yes.
It's like, oh, it's got to be.
Should've
It's just be a
childproofed that.
nightmare. Every time you turn your back on the guy, he's doing something
Something-
incredibly stupid.
Yes. Yeah, for sure. Oh, man.
And now he's going to be saying he's a different person. Like, this is not going to go well.
Now he's going to pretend.
Yeah. What if he just wakes up and he's like, Janie, you're a swell gal, but I'm not your husband, and I'm leaving. Like, it's that quick. Let's hope. No, he's gonna have to run into Chantel and Hutch, and he's gonna have to take them out, or his new gangster pals will take them out, and then he'll go to Twin Peaks.
He wakes up as himself just in time to get assassinated, and then he's a spooky ghost.
Yeah.
Yeah, sits upright like Dracula, and then immediately takes a headshot and falls back down.
Oh, I feel great. Then we go to the log lady calling Hawk, and they have a one-sided conversation about dying. So this is very... got mixed thoughts on this, because obviously it's sad, it's kind of beautiful, it's courageous of her to have filmed this like weeks before she died to say these lines, like, I'm dying, these lines, and say that, but I just feel the editing kind of ruined it for me. Like, just, it's so clear that they're just like reusing old Hawk footage from all the other phone calls, and they didn't have anything written for him to respond to, so they just like open up with "Hello, Margaret" and "Goodbye, Margaret," and that's it. And she just talks to herself.
Yeah, I just need a Hawk to say something like, "Do you want me to come up there?" or anything, because it just seems like I'm dying, and Hawk's just like, "Okay, whatever, let's let her talk."
Yeah,
that was weird.
I just need I understand, or I'm here
sorry.
for anything. Just let the acknowledgement that he cares.
Yeah.
Well, he did say he was sorry, but I don't know. Maybe that's not
about
enough.
it. That's all we got, and then until the very end.
I just feel like, clearly we can make the mental jump that they've had a discussion before about what she wants. I mean, this is completely speculation based on nothing, but I think you're at least forced to interpret it that he knows what she would want, but we as an audience don't necessarily know that.
Mm-hmm.
So I just think some sort of sign.
Yeah.
I thought it was kind of a nice end to the log lady, because when you're introduced to her, I mean, she's just this kind of batshit crazy member of the town who everybody hears but nobody really listens to.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of a nice little elegy for her that, her last interaction on the show, somebody just listens to her.
Yeah, if you look at it that way, that's nice.
But
But
there's enough, I think you can infer enough of a relationship between her and Hawk that this is how their conversations
Go.
Maybe.
in person or on the phone would be, that they know each other well enough that he knows when to listen and when to talk.
I'm hoping you're right. It's just the way every one of their conversations has been edited. It just makes me feel like when they filmed him, they didn't know what her lines would be,
Yeah.
and
Maybe
they just can't interact.
Maybe we're overthinking it though.
Maybe I don't know.
Maybe we're just like thinking of it too much from a filmmaking point of view and not so much from an emotional point of view.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean,
I think that the log lady wanted to be alone because she lived in the woods alone all the time.
Yeah.
She didn't have that many visitors, so for her to call Hawk, that was probably maybe took a lot for her to do that. We don't know.
Yeah, but even like when he was talking to Sarah Palmer before, like he did emote somewhat, and you could tell that he cared. But like he's not emoting at all when he's on the phone with Margaret.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's reused footage from previous.
You could be right. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's David Lynch editing again, because I mean clearly they had the log lady footage first. So there's no reason they couldn't have had a Hawk response that seemed a little bit more connected to what she was saying.
Yeah.
Well, maybe they didn't have it first. Maybe they had Hawk first for some reason. Log lady later. I don't know.
They could always reshoot Hawk.
True. Yeah.
Maybe he didn't know how to relate to her dying. I don't know. I feel like it might be hard for someone to relate to someone dying.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just the look on his face and everything, it doesn't seem connected to what we're hearing.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I don't know. I'll give it the benefit of the doubt and take it at face value and say that, he just didn't want to speak over her and just let her talk. And if we go with that, then it's kind of a beautiful way to see the log lady off.
Yeah.
What she was saying sounded to me like the poem that Harriet was reciting about Laura in that one episode.
Yeah.
It was Laura! we saw her crying or whatever.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
Whatever happened to Harriet?
Yeah, whatever happened to Harriet, guys? Is she
Harriet
gonna
was
show
Still
up?
in the attic.
Harriet was cool.
Harriet
Yeah.
was funny.
Yeah.
Only one of them got the key.
She's still in the attic.
Yeah.
They had to fight to the death to get it.
There's a skeleton in there.
But it's still a send-off to one of Twin Peaks' more quirky characters. I say one of their signatures. It's a pretty
Yeah.
You mean
significant
the log
moment.
lady? Yeah.
That's it for the log lady.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They need to do a send off for Harriet too.
God, what happened to Harriet?
Then all the Twin Peaks Sheriff Department, well, all the ones that matter, gather in the meeting room.
Hold up.
Hawk's
Hold
request.
up.
Yes? What?
Uh-oh.
Because Frank Truman is sitting in that conference
doesn't
room
matter.
alone in the dark, looking at pictures of fish on his laptop.
Is that? Oh, I forgot.
Just doesn't want to go home to his crazy wife.
It's hilarious.
Why would you?
That's just so weird.
It was. It really was.
Because he clicks through like 2 of them, so he's just sitting in the dark looking at pictures of fish.
I will say that Frank Truman, I didn't take any notes, but there was one note mentally I remembered. That man is a class act because he took his hat off.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
respect that. If you take the hat off, you show some damn respect.
Oh, there's something I forgot to mention when we were back on Big Ed. Big Ed was a part of the Bookhouse Boys. Just seeing all these people gathered together made me think of that. Like, the Bookhouse Boys have not been a thing. It wouldn't have been awesome if Big Ed was there last episode when they got Nido out of the forest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But maybe the Bookhouse Boys have disbanded because I don't even think they've said those words in this
Maybe Chet
episode
and
in
Richard
this
burned the
season.
clubhouse down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nobody's done the single tier thing.
Yeah. Where's the hand signals?
Yeah.
So yeah, Hawk informs them about the log lady passing on, and they're all very sad, and it's kind of shot or lit weird, where only Lucy's face is that's the only one you're able to see. Everyone else, they're from the shoulder up, they're in shadow. I'm not sure why, but
Oh, Lucy didn't go on the trip in the woods.
yeah.
She's the only one.
She's the only one who's not a doppelganger now.
Ooh.
She hasn't known the kiss of the zone.
So,
Well, then she needs to go to www.zone.com or whatever it is.
the search for the zone.
Search for the zone.
I'd love to read the about the author section on that page.
Oh my God.
Both had their heads. One had her head removed, and the other one's head blew up.
More like imploded.
Oh yes. I wasn't paying that close attention.
Yeah. And then we cut to the log lady's cabin, and I guess it was lit by bioluminescence because she dies and the light goes out. I don't want to make that joke, I guess. I'm
It's
sorry.
like Optimus Prime. Just goes black.
I never even noticed that we cut to the log cabin.
You didn't see that?
I didn't see
We go to
that
the log
at all.
cabin and the light goes out in the window.
I didn't see
which
that
just
at
made
all.
me
I
think that she had lit it with her life force.
Interesting. Okay.
But obviously that's not
Not
true.
out of the question.
And then that should have been the end of the episode. It should have ended there and gone to the Roadhouse, and they should have had like a nice song like the No Stars song or something like that.
Oh, it's going to the Roadhouse, Matt. It's
Yeah.
going to the Roadhouse.
But
Just as soon as you put your coat on, it's going to the Roadhouse.
but
Get your damn coat, Matt.
yeah.
You know what? I'm taking my coat off. You don't get what you want.
But I think it was Scott Ryan talking about this, and I agree totally. It would have been so much better if during the eulogizing the log lady, we intercut between that and a nice scene in the Roadhouse with a nice sad song, and it would have been like a lot like the episode where Maddie dies, with the world spins in the Roadhouse and everybody looking sad, and it was really impactful. But no, they ruined this scene by going to Audrey next.
Matt, don't throw your wine. You're like talking with your hands with the wine glass, and it just looks like the wine's gonna fly everywhere.
You're gesturing like Truman Capote right now.
It's just gonna
Nice.
throw your wine glass in Graham's face.
Sure.
This is what I think of your Bordeaux. No, it's just Audrey gets me worked up,
Yeah, I can tell.
angry. What do we think?
This is terrible. This is... Like, I've seen stuff people talking online, oh, she's in a coma, oh, it's a dream sequence. Like, whatever it is, it's terrible. I will eat my hat if it turns out that this was a great, like, bit.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way.
Yeah, I mean, it's just more of the same. Like, just it's like a play, and they only have one set, and they can never leave, and they just talk about leaving.
It's like a bad improv, like, or an acting exercise where it's like, okay, you're not allowed to leave the room. If you leave the room, the scene's over. So you just have to keep it going.
Yeah.
And I just there's no resolution to this Audrey thing that makes this worthwhile.
Having said that, I do still like Charlie. I like his reactions to Audrey.
Yeah.
But besides
How
that,
tired he is.
I'm so tired, Audrey.
I thought he was a jackpot, that Charlie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have any thoughts on this, Caitlin?
I echo pretty much the same sentiments. Every time I've been watching them together, it kind of feels like a train wreck.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, I enjoy seeing Audrey, but then I just wish, they would actually do something with it. And that's how I felt this whole episode, because everything felt kind of disconnected. I don't know, that is kind of how they have been doing the whole series, but this episode in particular just felt like random bits and pieces together, and I just wasn't feeling it.
Yeah. I'm really hoping that it comes together in these final 3 hours. Felt like this was setting some of that up, but... and then we go to the Roadhouse, and I kind of like this fake out where these guys look like they're going to mess with this girl, but all they do is they just want her seat, and they just place her on the ground gently. But besides that, I'm like, why are we watching this?
Yeah.
I mean, it's more dudes, like, I don't know, picking up a woman and moving her around. I'm like, I don't know if David Lynch is trying to say something, but, like, we keep getting these dudes being the worst, which is, reality, but,
It's just more new faces in the Roadhouse, and I can't connect any of them, and I don't know. I don't know what they want me to feel with all these ending scenes with these characters that we don't know. What are they going for, Graeme? Tell me.
I don't know. I don't know. I keep looking for a common theme with all these, like, teens and weirdos in the Roadhouse, and it's because the characters, like, introducing new characters, it can't mean anything. Just dropping new names and just one-off characters every single episode. And I know I say there has to be some kind of connecting theme, but I know I'm way overshooting. But I don't know if it ties into the drugs that Red's been pushing into the town.
That's the only thing I can think.
If it's this weird kind of dreamlike world everybody seems to be living in still in Twin Peaks, like Ed and Norma still in this kind of like repeating loop of just lust where they just, they finally came out of it this episode, but Shelley going after just shitty guys over and over again.
Yeah.
And, and all these, has there been some kind of otherworldly force just messing with people's heads for decades in this town? Like, it's the Roadhouse, the focal point of it. Especially when she starts crawling through the crowd and then screaming.
Yeah.
I mean, that was pretty...
It is weird.
Yeah.
I wish like you're talking about Shelley going for bad guys still. Like, I wish these characters, these legacy characters, had something new to do. Like, we're seeing them, but they're in, like, the same storylines they've always been in. They're just in limbo. Like, that's what people say would be bad. They're like, you just want the show to be like it used to be, like, all over again. And I'm like, no, I just want the characters to have new storylines, but they are actually in the same thing they used to be.
Yeah.
Like,
When you think about it, all the characters are in limbo storylines. Like Dale Cooper, like Audrey, Shelley, everybody is. Everybody. It's weird. This whole show is in limbo. In purgatory.
It just comes down to there's too many episodes. They should have went with the original 9.
I think what you need to remember is this is an 18-hour movie, and we're only 15 hours into it.
I'm going to punch you for Matt A.
Wait,
on behalf of Matt A.
18-hour movie? I've never heard of this before.
When you watch a movie that's 15 hours long or 18 hours long, and the first 15 are not that great.
It's just like that.
It's just like that.
I saw
and the
somebody...
director's...
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, and the director's cut of the movie is actually, with everything in sequence, is actually shorter than the actual movie itself.
Yeah. You're right. Like
It's 17 hours.
there's no cutscenes. There's no cutscenes in this. There's reused scenes to make it longer. Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody took this scene of her crawling across the ground and then screaming and synced it up to Cooper crawling across the ground and then zapping himself, and they like passed it off as something remarkable. And I'm like, that only makes sense because you made it make sense. You timed it up so that those two things happened at the same time in your video you made. Like, they did not start crawling across the ground at the same time. They only screamed and zapped themselves at the same time because you made them do that. Like,
That's weird.
I'm like, I don't know what that person was going for, but
That's
yeah,
They're just trying to. They're struggling to find a connection between scenes, and we're not getting that, and that's what they want, and so they're overreaching for
meaning.
Yeah, for me.
I think it's completely valid if people want to create interpretation for themselves. That's not necessarily there. That's fine. My problem always comes down to when people create that interpretation and then act like they've discovered something.
Yeah.
It's like, no.
This is the be all end all to this show kind of thing too.
I found the hidden key. No, you didn't. You just did something. If that's for you, cool, have fun with it. But there's no.
But yeah, it'd be fine if people did say this is my interpretation of it, and didn't act as if it was the main, like, this is what David Lynch meant. I know. I'm inside his mind.
There's just a lot of people that I think, especially with Twin Peaks, I feel there's a lot of people that feel like there's a way to interpret, there's a way to work out the secret puzzle, that there's something there that they can definitely figure out. And no, I don't think there is.
Lynch has said many times there's no secret meaning behind any of this shit. He just likes visuals and he puts them on screen.
But I think people then take it to the next level. It's like, oh, well, there's not one because he's not doing it consciously, but subconsciously it's all there. You just have to work it out, and you'll figure out the secret mind of David Lynch. And I'm like, no, guys,
know what he's doing. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that's a thing, and I honestly think you're devaluing his work and process and artistic style by trying to puzzle things out that aren't really a puzzle.
Yeah.
Really? You think that?
I do, because I think the appeal of David Lynch, like it or not, it's his aesthetic, and his aesthetic is not a puzzle. It's curious and quizzical and strange, but working out, I don't think it makes it better. I think you're losing focus.
Interesting.
It's like staring at clouds. Eventually you're going to see a sheep in there somewhere.
Yeah.
I don't know. Dan Harmon said something really interesting, that you can't surprise people anymore. And it was one of the first compliments I heard about, like, accolades I heard about the show when it first started, within the first 4 episodes, which were all trippy Black Lodge falling through space stuff.
Yeah.
And Dan Harmon was saying, from like Community and Harmon Quest and all those shows, he was saying that because of the nature of the internet now, basically people have made these communities where they're essentially like spoiler generators. Like, there's such a huge network now of people trying to disseminate the truth or find meaning in the smallest thing. And because everything is broadcast online now, it's available to everybody, so people aren't just coming up with their own theories, but they're constantly reading other people's, and it just keeps feeding into itself over and over again, and this it snowballs, which I think is what's going on here. People want to be like, the Hardy Boys or the Junior Detectives and figure out the mystery, and walk into the office the next day with their hands on their hips, go, well, I figured it out last night, I know everything there is to know about the show. And it's not going to happen.
Maybe this show kind of created that for itself too, with the the James and Donna trying to figure out the mystery as well. Like, it's kind of perpetuated that a little bit, maybe, or encouraged it, maybe. I don't know.
There's none of that this season, though.
No, none of that.
Does that
There's
seem
no
odd?
like teen mystery, like.
It's almost like
You gotta go to Riverdale
You
for
gotta
that.
go to Riverdale for that.
God, I love Riverdale.
the audience is the James and Donna now.
Yeah.
Ooh.
When we were watching Riverdale, as an aside, I was like, man, I wish that Twin Peaks was a mix of Riverdale and Twin Peaks, because then
Yes.
it would be just perfect. It would be
Oh my
like
gosh.
the old Twin Peaks again.
That's awesome.
Don't you guys think?
Yes.
Speaking of other shows we watched recently, you said something kind of remarkable about we were watching Wet Hot American Summer 10 years
Oh
later.
yes.
It's awesome.
And well, you go ahead.
I don't remember what I said. I remember I said something funny. But
You're basically saying like there's these two this series had a movie a long time ago, and then they had a prequel series, and now they have a sequel series. And the sequel series has these two new characters in it that they're pretending have always been there. Like they intercut them. They intercut them into the old footage to pretend they've always been there. And
yeah, we were like 4 episodes in. I was like, I already care more about these characters that we've never been introduced to until now than any character on Twin Peaks. It was crazy. Yeah, like they just they did such a much a better job of introducing and making us care about these people than it's crazy.
It's like the opposite of Nikki and Paulo from Lost.
yeah, basically.
Who?
I love Nikki and Paulo forever.
All right, so does everyone have a rating ready to go, or do you have more notes that you need to get out? Graeme, you don't have any rating written down, so you need us to stall?
I go in by the seat of my pants.
All right.
Are you ready now, or you want us to stall for you?
Stall. What was the song at the end? Was there a song this week?
There was a song. I can't remember who it was. By
It was the Veils.
The Veils.
Oh, the Veils.
What'd you think of it?
Axolotl or something.
Yeah,
is
what'd you
what
guys
it's
think of
called.
that song? It was interesting.
I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I think that's been consistently one of the best parts of the show. Is the music has been top notch.
Oh yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really liked
it.
discovering the cactus blossoms.
Yeah.
Actually, I got a CBC to play the cactus blossoms on the radio in the morning.
Yeah.
Oh,
Nice.
boy. You're about as close to celebrity as you can get.
Yeah.
I always love that when I'm waking up in the morning. Because for anybody listening, we're 3 of us are in the same room right now.
Yeah.
And I hear on the radio all the time Matt's requests. Early in the
Radio
morning,
song
the local
requests.
From the CBC. Yeah.
It just cracks me up every morning. My oldest friend
Yeah.
is requesting songs.
Today is the 30th anniversary of the Transformers the movie. Can you play the theme song, please?
Yes.
Nice.
They did it.
They did it.
Oh wow.
Transformers by Lion on the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation.
Best morning ever.
Yeah.
Nice.
So yeah, I'll rate it first, I guess. I'll go 8 out of 10 mouth sounds. It was good. I mean, these episodes are way better than all the middle episodes or the beginning episodes, in my opinion.
Oh, I love episode 8.
Oh, God, get out of my house. Yeah, I don't know. It's setting stuff up for the next episode. There was good stuff in this. Yeah, I liked most of it besides the Audrey stuff. Why do you like episode 8?
I can't explain
Kind of
it.
hard to say. I'd have to think about it a little bit longer.
All right.
It's just you probably just enjoyed the visual.
I didn't have that visceral. I don't know. I find people either really loved it, and I mean, I wasn't on bended knee for this episode. Or people just hated it so much, and I was like, I don't feel either way about this.
It was like the opposite of Twin Peaks. That's why I hated it.
I don't know. There's kind of a punk ethic to it that I really like. That this is still cable or like not network TV, but cable TV, and that something like that.
You just like that it's kind of like a fuck you.
Not even a fuck you, but it's like, let's see what people will sit through.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I was just as I was watching it, I was kind of skeptical. I'm like, is this really happening?
Yeah.
But even then, I was still pretty interested in what was going on, like the story, the flashback, and that's the parts about the show that I still love. It's when it doesn't tell me explicitly what it is, and I have to guess. And even though my guess may be way off the mark, or David Lynch doesn't have a plan, or Mark Frost, wrote something and it got completely mutilated, I don't really care, because in my head, there's still that feeling of terror when that thing crawls into her mouth.
Yeah.
Every night when you go to sleep, you still kind of think about it. So that must be worth something.
So it affects you, is what
Exactly.
you're saying.
And I
That's what
can't
you
really-
like about it.
I can't really give that a rating scale, that feeling. And I can't completely say I've wasted my time watching something like that either.
Yeah.
But did the nuke need to turn into just flashing images and sounds for about 8
Well, you said
minutes?
2001: A Space Odyssey, right?
No, I actually haven't.
It's very similar to the Star Child transformation at the end.
I don't want to see that then.
I always wanted to see that, but
The hate mail's going to start. Oh, you don't Stanley Kubrick now?
Bring it on. Bring it on. It feeds me. Mel. Yeah, Mel, what do you think of this episode?
I'm gonna give it a rating of 7 out of 10 bites of very dry cake. I liked it. Still not the best episode. Still not the worst episode, I guess. It's just an episode. It's a gateway episode. Let's just say.
This is the one you would recommend to people who've never seen the series.
Yeah, this
before?
is the marijuana of
Oh, boy.
the gateway drug. All right, someone else go.
Caitlin, what about you?
Okay. I enjoyed parts of this episode, but overall I felt it kind of dragged. It was just felt slow, even though individual scenes were interesting. Like, I really liked the Coop scene, where he electrocuted himself, and I really enjoyed Gross Steve on his bad trip, because it was just so bizarre. And the scene at the end, even though it was just this random girl, it was like, I don't know, just really intense and drew me in, but still, like, nothing is fitting together. They're just chopping things off, let's kill off all these people, let's take care of this, let's take care of that. And I was just not emotionally invested. But yeah, so I'm gonna give it 6.5 out of 10 cups of coffee with a side of cyanide.
That was pretty hilarious though when Ed was like, it basically looked like he was trying to not snap and murder everyone in the room.
Well, that's a real douchebag like play on Norma's part.
Yeah.
Like, he says, and she's like, "Oh, sorry, I gotta deal with this real quick. So hold on."
Yeah, she knew what she was gonna do, and then kept him hanging.
Or maybe that changed her mind.
Maybe. What did?
Ooh.
He was standing there.
Him making that bold declaration.
Oh.
Norma's been sitting there just inundated with paperwork the entire season. Like, she has not been looking like she's been having a good time.
No.
It's true.
And Ed makes this grand sweeping gesture.
Save me from these papers.
That's right. Norma's like, you know what? Take this job.
Take this job and shove it. Walter.
Johnny, who is it? Johnny Paycheck sings that song?
I don't know. All right, Brad.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, part of me like wants to like think this is one of the best episodes, and I think it is, but I don't even know. I feel so. I don't know. It all just feels so cold and disconnected that like even the Ed Norma scene that I think I'm supposed to really like just feels. I don't know. I just feel so much is lost by the fact that we haven't built this up into any kind of arc. Unless you count all the previous things that you have to have going into this. So, I don't know. It's like, how long is this payoff been waiting? How long have they been waiting to get together? It's like, at this point, it's what, 40 years or something crazy?
45 years. It had been 20 years. It had been 20 years when we first saw them in
And it was just
season
so
1 and 2.
fast when they did get together. Just no discussion, just a kiss and let's get married.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel
permission from Nadine.
Yeah, I love Nadine with walking down the road with a shovel. That's great. I always love Nadine, no matter what. She's one of my favorites. But yeah, that scene, and I love the music. The music is so good in that scene. Yeah. Like, I just feel like they haven't earned it this season to do it, which sucks because otherwise I think it would be really good if we just had a little bit more of a build-up. And having a couple of minutes of Ed sitting alone at the end of a previous episode isn't quite enough. Mm-hmm. If you're really going to sell me that this is the big climax of that story. But Evil Coop going up to meet the teapot is weird and creepy, and I enjoy it. Still, I just wish we had a little bit more information to at least know what to hang our hat on at this point. 15 hours in. Steven grosses me out. Ian Fist is a monster that deserves to stay in prison for the rest of his life. And I'm still leery about Dougie turning back into Cooper. So, Log Lady scene was great. I'm just hitting all the scenes now. Log Lady scene was great for that actress. That was a great thing for her to be able to do. Audrey scene is garbage. Crawling around in the roadhouse, I don't know. I don't know what we're doing here. I don't know. This whole series, I feel, is just such a disappointment. It's so disconnected and empty, and I wish I liked this series more, but I just can't. And like I just don't care. Like, I wish I cared, but I'm not invested in anything in this series right now.
Yeah.
So
I love that you're saying this, Brad, because this is exactly how I feel about it.
yeah,
Like, it's just everything. It's everything, Brad.
I feel like I've been so optimistic for so long, and like, I mean, it's nothing now. I feel like it was a chore to watch this. I was like, oh yeah, I gotta watch this Sunday night. Oh, all right, let's do that. And then it was over, and I was like, yeah.
I have to disagree with that part, though, because I feel like I still, as much as I hate watching the show, I still look forward to it, because I look forward to seeing what they'll do.
Every time there's a new episode, you're like, oh boy, I hope it impresses me. I hope I enjoy this.
Same.
Sometimes
Somehow
we do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really feel that, like, I'm at the point that, I mean, I enjoy discussing it with you guys. I don't know necessarily if I was watching this completely independently, if I would not drop off and just wait until it was all done and just knock it out.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, good point.
I don't feel the need to catch it every week. If I could just, like, power through the last couple episodes in a sitting and be done with it, I think I probably would. But I don't know. This was, I think, I say all of this, I still think it was one of the better ones, I think. I really don't know. I'll say 7.5 out of 10. Forks of Doom.
All right. Have you got your thoughts together, Graeme?
I have, yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, so I don't know. I kind of agree with Mel's kind of perspective here. I look forward to it each week, and I mean, it's kind of not coincidental. I mean, they air on the same night, but the Game of Thrones and Twin Peaks
Yes.
both air. My wife's we both love Game of Thrones, and she's definitely not as into watching Twin Peaks as I am. And I know, for one, I actually prefer to watch Twin Peaks first.
Oh.
Yeah.
Did you
And
tell her this?
She knows. She knows.
Okay.
She doesn't care.
All right.
But it's, I'm trying to pinpoint what it is I do dig about the show, because there's a lot. I'm not saying it's perfect, and it does drag certain parts. There's a lot of character introductions that it's just superfluous. It doesn't seem to serve much of a purpose other than just kind of give you a vignette to town. But I almost feel like that feeling, like that anticipation and the feelings of dread. Because I, for one, rewatching Firewalk with Me reminded me how much I like the horror side of things in this show and how uncomfortable it makes you feel.
Yeah.
And a lot of the ugliness you see. And just how that used to be juxtaposed with Cooper, on the other hand, who was this virtuous character. I think it's just that feeling of anticipation and not knowing what's going to happen next.
Yeah.
That's what keeps me coming back watching it each week. And it's not necessarily something that always needs a coherent story.
Yeah.
Or, a payoff every single episode to sustain. So my hope is that within the next 3 episodes there is a bit of resolution. But if there isn't complete resolution, I don't expect it, and I don't frankly really care. Because the original series ended on the cliffhanger of cliffhangers, and I was fine with that.
But see, this is why I was fine with this show not even happening at all.
Yeah.
Because of just this. Like, I just don't want more of, like, I'm fine with it ending there. Because I felt like it was perfect the way it was. It was just perfect. The ending was perfect. It leaves you hanging and wondering. And that's kind of magical in a way. It's great. Like, it keeps you thinking about the show.
Yeah.
And if they kind of sort of resolve things or don't resolve things in a great way, then maybe that show won't have that same air of mystery now.
Yeah, I keep wondering what the 9-hour cut of this would have looked like.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that's one of the casualties of the season.
I'm assuming it was the same thing but tighter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Or
they I think they basically could have got everything in it and just cut around the edges, just take out.
It's almost like you shot 9 episodes, and then Showtime got on the horn. They said, "All right, Mark, we're wrapping this up. our opus is finished. And Showtime got on the phone, said, hey, we're giving you 9 more.
Yeah.
All right, let's stretch out what we already have.
That's what it feels like to me.
Yeah.
Did you give your rating?
Yeah, so if I have to give it a rating, I'm going to give it... I actually really liked this episode. It had a lot of stuff that I keep waiting for familiar characters. Again, whenever Nadine shows up, I love Nadine.
Mm-hmm.
I was surprised how much I enjoyed seeing Big Ed again. Just seeing him kind of like lurch around town. He's a big dude.
I'm so glad he hasn't acted since The Straight Story. It's been like 20 years. I'm so glad he came out of retirement for this.
I thought he did a fantastic job for someone who hasn't acted.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. He's
Him
great.
and Wendy Roby they both still have the handle on their characters.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
The log lady was great. Like one of the gifts the show has given us is a character like the log lady. And to send her off with so much respect and dignity, I thought was very nice.
Yeah.
And I mean, all the stuff with Dark Coop, I love the Black Lodge stuff. So anything with that, I'm 100% on board. And I love the human mist that is Jeffries. But so I'm going to give this 8.5 out of 10 Nadine annulments, because in the last 25 years, I guarantee Nadine has given Ed an out and then immediately taken it back later.
That's why he was so worried that was going to happen.
I have a question now. If David Bowie was a tea, what kind of tea would he be?
Earl Grey?
You think? Because he's British?
That's stereotyping, Caitlin.
No, I just popped into my head. I don't think it's I don't think of him as British. I think of him as David Bowie.
Yeah.
I'm Bergamot.
Ooh, bergamot's good. It tastes kind of like Fruit Loops.
So
Maybe-
whatever they drink in space.
yeah.
Space tea.
Space tea.
I think like a black tea with like citrus.
Okay,
He's
yeah.
NASA tea.
All right.
All right.
All
Let's
those suggestions mixed together.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, let's get to feedback. And Mel, I got to use the washroom, so you take over. And
I
Graham,
shall
I
take
heard you get a
over.
text.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go wild.
Slice of life in the
Oh
old,
wait, do I need these headphones?
Yeah,
really?
they'll
the old
work.
Twin Peaks podcast studios today.
All right. So we have some feedback from Luke. Does anybody want to read a feedback?
Yeah.
I will put it in the Skype chat.
I will figure out how to view it.
With your car technology.
Yes. No, it's so weird, the mobile Skype app. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm there.
You're there. You can.
I'm
see
there.
Okay.
I'm in your house. Okay.
Ah! No, thank you.
Okay. Hi everyone. Well, this series has had its ups and downs. I thought this week's episode was wonderful. So it seems we are talking about Judy now. My theory is it's Laura Palmer reborn. Ooh. Okay. But I don't know if we should trust Jeffries. Guy seems to be full of hot air. But lame puns aside, I found the Ed and Norma scenes touching. Plus, while Wendy Roby's comedic acting was a highlight of the original series, it was great to see her being given something more substantial to work with, as well as getting to see another side of Nadine. I also found the way the show handled Margaret Lanterman's passing rather emotional as well. This is going to sound odd, but I found the Hutch and Chantal scene kinda cute. Maybe that says something about me. Okay. I don't know what, but good.
So he's right.
My only real critique is I am getting so sick of the scenes with random new characters in the Roadhouse in the last few episodes. They don't seem to serve any purpose whatsoever.
18-hour
Overall,
movie.
yeah! I think we should it'll be like one of those random series by itself. You could just put all those clips together and it'll be like a mini-series or something. They don't... Okay, overall I give it 9 clips from Sunset Boulevard out of 10. Best wishes, Luke.
Thanks, Luke.
So are these new
Cheers.
characters like Twin Peaks, the new class?
Yeah!
Twin Peaks goes to college.
Yeah, the next season is going to be just all the new characters.
But with a giant football coach as their RA.
Graham, did you want to read this one?
Yeah, I can read one.
Okay,
It's probably easier to read if you go back
I'll
to
go back on here, but I posted it in the chat just so everybody else
This
can
is
read
it right here?
Yes.
Alright. So this is from, do I read the name at the end?
just the first name.
Okay. Alright. Dear Twin Peaks Podcast, since my last feedback email was unacceptably long,
Aww.
I'll try to keep this one a bit shorter. Just a bit.
This is from Daniel.
From Daniel, yes.
Yeah.
This was another episode I really liked, although I've liked the whole season a lot. It feels like we're definitely moving towards the end now. I'm really excited to see what that end will be. I don't expect to get much of a resolution, though, but that's okay. A few standout scenes. Big Ed and Norma are finally together. Unfortunately, it feels too good to be true, and I'm actually worried for them now.
Huh.
Interesting.
I think this is the last time we see them.
I hope they both make it to the end. They sure deserve it. And I really loved the scene with Ed and Nadine as well. Last time I wrote, I predicted that we'd seen the last of Margaret Lanterman. I was wrong. This is a really heartfelt and touching goodbye, one of the more emotional scenes in the whole series. Felt like David Lynch really took the time he needed to say goodbye to his friend Catherine Coulson. Of course, I'm very sad that David Bowie didn't have time to record any new scenes for the return. The worst moment of 2016, I'm just going to put that out there again. But I really enjoyed the teapot solution. Interesting. And the whole creepy scene at the convenience store.
Sorry, but the Teapot Solution would be a really great name for a band.
Teapot Solution. Philip Jeffries and the Teapot Solution.
And ladies and gentlemen, the Roadhouse is proud to present the Teapot Solution.
Oh man, what other songs like Convenience Store?
No, they're just gonna play.
We're not gonna talk about Judy.
They're just gonna play ZZ Top's Shark Dress Man.
Yeah, China Girl. So who is Judy? The Las Vegas text sent by Mr. C, which Diane received some episodes ago, really confirms the timeline is really screwed up. No kidding. And by design, not by sloppy editing.
I don't know about that.
No, that's it.
No, I mean,
I thought you guys were gonna really dig into that one.
I mean, I've got.
We've discussed it.
We've discussed it like many times in the past, but like it's pretty clear to me that they're just editing around certain scenes and they're reusing footage, and they didn't know exactly what they were going to do for certain things.
Don't trust David Lynch.
I suppose it's up for debate, but yeah.
Oh, everything is in this day and age.
Yes.
And I believe we'll see a bit more of the old Coop next episode, but I have no illusion that he'll be unchanged after 25 years in the lodge.
No.
Again, you're not going to get the show or the characters that you left off with, because again, this is a man who's been in prison for 25 years in a spirit realm.
Yeah.
I keep thinking about that every now and then. It's not going to be an easy pill to swallow.
Yeah.
When the man does get his shoes back.
Yes.
Really looking forward to the final hours. All the best, Daniel.
Thanks, Daniel. Wait, I'm like really terrible at email for some reason.
This one's short. This is from John. He says, Audrey, please just put on your damn coat. Seriously, for Bob's sake. Charlie is so sleepy. Leave him alone. Call a taxi, get an Uber, hop on the bus, catch the train, hitchhike, walk, anything. I give part 15 9 out of 10 unofficial Iron Fist punches. Take care, John. P.S. I thought I'd keep this short and sweet after that mammoth essay you had to read last week. Bye.
I think we had more than one for some reason. I don't know. There's an email from Will. I'll read it. Rest in peace, log lady. Is she going to live inside the log now? Is anyone going to her house? I keep expecting police cars to drive up after she died, but no. Oh my god, what if they let her body rot in the house?
Oh, I hope not.
Kind of feel bad that it took this long for Ed to be set free. I mean, at Ed and Norma's age, they don't really have any good years left. Aw, or so I'm told. Well, thank goodness, Will. You've just been told this. You don't really know for sure.
How old does he feel, Will?
So, Philip Jeffries is a teapot. I know they have to be creative because of David Bowie being unavailable. Is this what you mean? Is this what you call death, Will? He's unavailable.
Everyone, we're sorry to say that this year Prince became unavailable.
Okay, so yeah, David Bowie isn't unavailable, but damn, will we find out who really called Mr. C? Did they expect people to not have figured out that Richard is Audrey's son? I guess he could have been Johnny's.
Nope.
What are the odds that Dougie suffered no effect from his electrocution, and that he'll be the same as he's been all season? It's pretty late in the game, so something has to change, right?
You would hope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll go back to his origin point.
Maybe. Poor Audrey is trapped in a bad storyline. I guess that could be said for most of the characters. Only 3 episodes left. Let's hope for an excellent finish.
He goes back to his origin point, so he like unlearns the few things he did learn.
It's back to a vegetable.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, we got more dog pictures.
More dogs! Wait, you can do this, Matt. Did you want to sit back in this chair, Matt?
Sure.
Okay, let's switch. Wait, let's not tangle our headphones together.
Matt just did like a full-on vault.
Oh yeah. Jump.
Nice. Very athletic.
This looks very similar to other dogs we got pictures of. Have we seen this dog?
This is because it's Ben's dog.
Okay, is it
Well,
just...
no, you're not getting both dogs. There's 2 dogs in
Oh, I
there.
didn't even see that other dog.
Yeah. Wait, get both dogs
There he
in
is.
there.
Okay.
Dog's been hearing that his whole life.
Aww.
So, Brad, here's a couple dogs for you. And
Bring
then...
'em on.
You can throw them in your kidnapper van.
It's called a snatchatorium, thank you.
Brad's
Oh my God!
That's a good one.
He's gonna have a snatchatorium full of dog pictures.
Yeah.
Snatch them all.
Gotta snatch them all. Does somebody want to read Ben's?
Sure. What's up, Peaky Peekers? 2 exclamation points. Been here! Exclamation point. Really, already off the bat, we're getting a lot of exclamation points here. I didn't get a chance to rewatch this one before sending this feedback because I procrastinate. We gave you until Friday, sir. This is fine, though, because all I want to talk about is Ed and Norma. When Nadine walks up and sets Ed free, I wasn't totally on board. The first thing I thought was, of course this would happen after Norma has moved on, and I became anxious that we would watch Ed and Norma miss each other again. At this point, I mean, it's their own fault. Mm-hmm. I also thought that Norma would want no part of it, and would be disappointed that Ed actually waited for Nadine's permission. Very true. I couldn't help think of that line from Norma when she says, "Maybe that's our problem. We never just take what we want," in the original season. I felt like even if Norma would have ditched her diner dude, she still wouldn't have appreciated the situation with Ed not taking charge. It's very, very true. Like, come on, Ed. Come on.
Diner douche is more like it.
Yeah.
Then when Ed goes to see her and she is immediately a bit dismissive, in that moment, I was Ed. I was him shaking in my seat, unable to cope with the cruelty of life. I was right there with him, and I honestly felt everything in his performance in those moments. I begged silently, like Ed did, to not let this moment pass us by and leave us devastated. And when Norma's hand slides on Ed's shoulder, I melted. I fucking melted. It was such a sigh of relief and moment of elation for me. Now, here is where I get a bit pretentious and dorky. I love the Lynch Frost subvert the Hollywood expectations. Ed has no character arc. He does not learn a lesson and then use that lesson to solve his problem. He is broken in the same way he always was. His character does not grow. He stood by Nadine until she was ready to let him go, and then did with his freedom what he wanted. He didn't change and then become a strong man. Norma loved him for being who he was, and his relationship with Nadine was collateral damage of his identity. This scene posits that if Ed had left Nadine, then he would have no longer been the man Norma loved. He didn't have to become the willful hero to get the girl. He had to stay true to who he was. The use of music in this scene shows that Lynch is amongst the best directors. What the song choice combined with its editing does to this scene is nothing short of amazing. Okay, that's enough for me, I suppose. I attached a picture of my dogs after haircuts. Please enjoy. I super enjoyed. Thanks for being the best.
Dog haircuts.
Dog haircuts. Roadhouse is
just-
pleased to present dog haircuts.
It's just a picture of the hair of the dogs on the floor.
You guys just don't get it. You gotta really stare at it.
I love that all this episode was to Ben was Ed and Norma. That's it.
Yeah.
And then he's like, forget the rest.
Here's
It's
a
just Ed and Norma.
real quick watch.
Yeah.
Caitlin, do you mind reading this from Dan?
Yeah, okay. More stray notes and last-minute theories. Before she died, the log lady told Hawk to watch for that one, the one under the moon on Blue Pine Mountain, and Briggs' note showed the experiment was above one peak with a crescent moon above the other. She says the one instead of the person, and the last time we heard this phrase from her, she said, Laura is the one. Are we being set up for some version of Laura Palmer to finally appear back in Twin Peaks? In Fire Walk with Me, Jeffries refused to give up any information about Judy because he thought Cooper was Mr. C. He also may have been a tulpa, like the girl from that Blue Rose case, because that Jeffries seemed confused about his place in time and then vanished. Now that Mr. C is able to question Jeffries himself and Jeffries seems convinced he is Cooper, he finally got some information on Judy, her location. Both Andy and Sarah Palmer believe bad people are descending upon that location, and whoever Judy is, she seems to be very important to discovering what the experiment really is. I'm in the Judy is Nido camp. We've all heard by now, perhaps non-canonically, that Judy had a twin and that Josie had a sister. Twins sometimes have similar names, so it wasn't hard for me to link Judy with Josie when I saw Fire Walk with Me. In that movie, a kind of dream sequence, Black Lodge Monkey whispers, Judy, while hiding behind a mask. It seems that the monkey represents the only sounds the woman we know as Nido is able to make. Saying Judy while peeking behind the mask was strange in its directness and made me curious. Why the mask? We hear so much about twins in the show and doppelgangers and tulpas that I wonder if Nido isn't like Dougie, a twin that was created for some purpose, hiding like the monkey behind the likeness of Josie. That's all pretty loose, I know, but there's the fact that Nido is Asian and there are almost no people of color in the show, so it might have been a conscious casting choice.
You were actually talking about that the other day, Matt.
Which part?
About how there's no people of color in this show, really.
No, that was Wet Hot American Summer again.
Oh, that was it? Oh. Yeah, okay. I thought...
Pretty much interchangeable, right?
I've been blending these shows together.
Yeah.
Riverdale, Wet Hot American Summer, Twin Peaks.
I had something I wanted to say in response to this, but I can't remember. Oh,
if this was...
There's no monkeys. Sorry. That's what I wanted to say. There's no monkeys in this season. Go ahead, Brad.
Sounds.
I was going to say, if this was Riverdale, then every problem could be solved by Josie and the Pussycats.
Okay, continuing.
Take care of business.
Speaking of the monkey, this show has also given us mentions of owls, horses, a unicorn, a penguin, a zebra, a rhinoceros, and whatever the frog moth is supposed to be. I'm just waiting for the reveal in part 18 where all these animals come with their own little doppelgangers and walk side by side as they board Bob's evil ark and flood the Black Lodge because for some reason Mr. C hates that place. I swear some of the writing on the show is as bad as my last email. Dan.
That's pretty great. Thanks, Dan.
Last one is from Matt A.
Oh my god, that's so long.
Oh my goodness. Okay, bye. I'm going, guys. Just kidding.
Do you want it, Brad, or do you want me to take it since you just read one?
Whatever's clever. Where does it start?
Starts with greetings, Matt and Mel.
Okay, I'll find it.
I'll find it eventually.
Yeah.
We can tag team this one.
Okay.
We can call back tomorrow.
Exactly. Greetings now. Greetings, Matt, Mel, Brad, Kaylin, and guest. Assuming the guest could be bothered to stick around for the feedback section of the podcast.
I feel strangely offended by that.
You shouldn't be. You stuck around.
Matt is always sick burning, like whatever last episode was all about.
Listen, sometimes people don't have time for random people's feedback. Thanks for recording on a not Monday. I did not expect Dr. Amp's conspiratorial bullshit radio program / gold shoveling infomercial to have such a positive effect on our dear Nadine. So suddenly, life affirmed, she gives Big Ed permission to seek his bliss with Norma. What a pathetic specimen Ed is, that he quietly pined for Norma for 3 decades for awaiting permission from his dingbat wife. So much time wasted. Nadine belongs with Mike anyway. Where's Mike? My theory on the Great Twin Peaks The Return pie mystery is that Norma was unconsciously self-sabotaging her business by purchasing extravagant ingredients and selling her pies at giveaway prices. She did not want to be a diner maven. She is low aspirational. The only thing she has ever wanted was Big Ed. Now she finally has him, and his bizarre hair doozy. what we didn't see, Norma clearing the papers from her back booth with one violent swoop of her arm before furiously fucking Ed on the table in front of gawking double our patrons.
Amazing.
Oi, you guys doing okay living inside my parenthetical? Oh no, we've been inside a parenthetical for all this time? Where did it start? Oh god, it did!
It started from
I missed it.
Mike.
I missed it. Guys, we're still in a parenthetical. Hold on tight. You comfy in there? Okay, for your sakes, I'll close it. In parenthetical that we've secretly been this whole time. It's a real inception, guys.
I left my shoes inside that.
Sorry I didn't warn everyone. That was the big, M. Night Shyamalan twist. When Cigar Store Indian Cooper goes into the rooms above the convenience store and we transition to the motel, is he physically traveling from one location to another in the real world, or are the convenience store and motel connected to each other on a different plane of existence? Explain this to me.
How the fuck should I know?
No, we're not explaining this to you.
I'm pretty certain that the Dumpy Motel is the Mount Si Motel in North Bend, Washington.
Yep.
This is one of those places inhabited by long-term residents who can't afford actual apartments. It's also the place you go in North Bend when you need to fuck someone pronto. And all the tables at Tweed's Cafe are occupied. Matt and Mel wanted to stay at this motel during the Twin Peaks Festival, but I talked them out of it.
Oh, thank goodness you did, Matt.
Nice. David Bowie is an oversized tea kettle now? Makes sense to me. Owl sighting. When the gas station flickered out of existence, 3 question marks, there were a few frames that contained images of owls. What? I missed it.
I didn't see it. Yeah.
I think unless you're watching on a television that can produce really deep blacks, you would likely miss it. I did not understand the drama between Alicia Witt and Theon Greyjoy. He appeared stoned and suicidal, but why? Wouldn't you be if you were him? I mean, come on. He looks like a methed out Culkin. There was no context for them being in the woods, shivering, crying. We haven't spent enough time with these characters to understand their relationship or what motivates them, and this scene goes on for so long. I get nothing from this because no groundwork has been laid. Just another example of how badly plotted this series is. Matt, I think you're missing out. This is an 18-hour movie, so we're only 15 hours in. So come on, we haven't gotten to the part. Matt. We haven't gotten to the part where we develop characters and arcs and stories and motivations. We'll get to that in the last 3 hours. I did think it was funny that Theon told Kirsten, and I'm paraphrasing here, that her cunt was soup's awesome. Owl sighting. There was one redeeming facet to this wood scene. In the branches, you can plainly see some of our owl buddies hanging out, as owls do.
I did not see this.
I don't think there are any owls. I love that Jennifer Jason Leigh is still about snacks and fast food. Chantel and Hutch forever. Agreed.
The healthiest couple on Twin Peaks.
Before we continue, let's not forget to mention that this week's installment of Twin Peaks podcast is sponsored by Casper. You spend nearly a third of your day asleep, and you deserve the best mattress without paying ridiculous mattress store prices. Our innovative, award-winning mattresses are engineered for the best sleep possible. Try Casper risk-free for 100 days. Get $50 off your purchase by using our offer code. 18-hour movie is not a thing.
Do you want me to take over? Or you good?
Yeah, go for it.
All right. Oozy Pussy Gravy Sore Guy in the jail cell has got to go.
Band name.
I have another band name. I don't want to be looking at that. I also don't have much to say about James. How has he become less cool? And the twerp with Hulk Fist. I was completely okay with Rodney Roland from Space Above and Beyond punching James. Owl sighting, the jail scene. Watch closely. When Chad reclines, he uses an owl as a pillow.
What if when this comes out on Blu-ray, there are owls?
They take Matt's advice.
Yeah. The CG
owls in there.
All of Janie's dreams are coming true. Apparently this includes being wed to a mentally challenged man who can't give consent. No, I haven't forgotten about that. Whenever I see her, I think, damn, lady, you're sick. Hey, here's my hot take. Maybe Dougie was trying to electrocute himself because he had a moment of clarity and didn't want to stay trapped in the prison of his own body, a docile sex object for his rapist wife.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Owl sighting. More fun owl motifs in this episode. We already know about the owl cookie jar in the Joneses' kitchen, but did you see the owl magnets on the fridge and the owl oven mitt on the counter? They're clearly visible when Dougie jams the fork into the socket and the light brightens. Also, if you squint, the chocolate cake Dougie is eating looks like an owl, sorta. Kinda?
I feel like Matt is making fun about all my owl stuff in my house.
He's never been to our house.
I know, but I sent a picture one time.
Oh. That scene with Margaret and Hot was hot. That scene with Margaret.
That scene was hot.
Freudian slip. Yep. That scene with Margaret and Hawk was really lovely. When he tells her, "Good night, Margaret," I'll admit I got emotional. That was a nice send-off for that character and the actress. The episode should have ended there with the silent credits rolling, so that we might linger in the emotion for a bit. But nope, it keeps going. There's an awful Audrey Charlie scene, per the usual. I don't understand it, and I don't feel like trying to understand it. The scene exists without purpose, without clarity, and they are a fucking drag. Like this feedback. Shut up. Who said that? Owl sighting. The final scene at the Roadhouse. The owl disguises itself as Asian American actress Charlene Yee. Then it crawls across the floor and screams. It's a very disturbing moment, but a remarkable performance by the owl. So yeah, another episode of Twin Peaks: The Return. It was mostly okay. I like the Ed Nadine Norma levity at the beginning and our farewell to the log lady, but then there were moments that landed with a thud, in particular Gersten in the woods and the Audrey scene. There's still no development with Dougie. We are inching towards episode 18 with a lot unresolved. Did Andy and Lucy ever get that chair? And other stuff. Oh, thanks, Matt.
Thank you.
Oh, you gotta learn to love the show more, Matt. Jeez. Alright, yeah, that's all our feedback. So, Graeme, thanks for coming on.
Sorry, I feel like Maddie is losing it. He's seeing owls everywhere.
This show has driven him insane. Graeme, do you have anything to plug?
Just gonna rack my brains for a second. My sister is in a band. I'm really reaching into the plug bag here.
Yeah.
Yes.
My sister's in a band called the Laffars out of Toronto, Ontario, I think. So you can check them out. I've seen them. They're pretty good. My friend Kaylin does a podcast called the Pagan Place Podcast, where he takes local musicians from around our town and basically gets them to play a few songs. So I've actually done the podcast before.
Nice.
Does he live on Pagan Place?
He used to.
Really? Because
Yeah.
that's the coolest street.
It was a cool house, too.
It's such a cool street.
Yeah, so he kept the name, but he lost the apartment.
Oh.
Everybody Google Street View Pagan Place, St.
I
John.
don't know. It's just like a nice little it's like I'd never even noticed it before, but I was out for a walk and I just saw this little side street. I just love that it's called Pagan
It's
Place.
swell. It's like a cul-de-sac. Just it
Because
ends.
it's like such a Catholic city. I feel like they have like this pagan, like I don't know, it's great.
This is the street for heretics.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've appeared on that. I'm going to be at some point in time playing another song or two on there, and I'm hopefully I was going to this summer, but I didn't get around to it. But I'll hopefully be writing some more songs
Nice.
in the future, and I'll keep you posted if that materializes into anything. But yeah,
Cool.
thanks for having me on.
Yeah,
Cool.
no problem. Thanks for coming on. Brad, what have you been doing on Ramjack?
Guys, the last episode, I talked about the greatest fucking film of the year, Kidnap with Halle Berry, which is still in the theaters. Everyone needs to go see it because it's fucking intense. It's so good.
Is it really?
It's really fucking good. It's like if Taken wasn't stupid.
Oh, they should use that on their poster.
Seriously,
if
watch
Taken
the
wasn't stupid.
Watch the trailer. It's the most intense trailer for a film I've ever seen, and the movie is 8,000 times more intense.
Huh.
It's really good. So check out Taken. Check out that episode of Ramjack where we talk about that. Also, you can catch me on Calavici Fashion Cast, talking about the fashions of Quantum Leap. We just did an episode with a filthy degenerate magician. But he wore a cool turtleneck, so check that out.
All right.
So magicians are okay as long as they wear turtlenecks.
No, magicians are never okay.
What's that? Quantum Leap?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was a very. Oh, don't spoil it for Brad. I don't know if he's seen the end.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
You have
I've
seen
it
the
all.
end? Okay, never mind. Yeah, that's a downer of an ending.
Yeah, but it's so good.
Oh boy. All right. Yeah. Thanks for listening, everyone, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
I'm not drunk.
Hey, look, it's an owl.
Mel was an owl this whole time.
I was the one replacing Charlene Yee.
Thanks for listening. Check us out on twitter.com/TwinPeaksCast. Search for the Twin Peaks Podcast group on Facebook. And visit us on twinpeakspodcast.blogspot.com. Email your feedback to twinpeakspodcast@gmail.com.
Yeah, now